Now ready to present diplomas. We hope we've got you all lined up in alphabetical order. When we call your name, please proceed to the diploma table and check in with Kathy Burgoyne. Kathy, thanks for being with us. Wonderful class of 62. And Kathy will try to make sure that you get the right diploma. After President Beyer presents you with a diploma, please stand with him for a few seconds so the photographer can get a photo of you. We want everyone to get a photo with President Beyer. And then after receiving your diploma, please return to your seat and wait till the presentations are over. All right, are we ready? I think we have Dottie Teresi Barden. Dottie? Now, there's some people who claim Dottie for the class of 65, but she's ours, right? Next, Barbara Lauer Braden. And next, our own Sam Carcione. In from Florida. With Linda, who's here too. Linda's back there. There she is. And next, our Pat Ryan Casey. And next, Mary Carol Hickey Crawford. In from New York, Joan DeBelco. Joan, wonderful to see you. And next, Pat Elder. And after that, my partner in crime up here, Lee Flanagan. Next, Verge Vergale. By the way, there's a story about Verge that you all should know. There was an article in the paper about a fellow who was a great foul shooter after the basketball games. And he complained that, yes, he was fine, he had this wonderful award, but there was this girl back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, who was an even better foul shooter than he was. And that was Verge, who would go on the basketball court while her father was at work, right, Verge? And then, because girls weren't supposed to be playing basketball in her family, she'd dash home before her dad got home from work and be ready to greet her dad. No jock there. You know, you would have been, in this day and age, Verge, you would have been, you know, probably all-conference athlete, at least. Next, Jane Friday. Jane Straub Friday, I should say. Jane is a former alumni council president and now a board member. And the other half of that wonderful team, Jim Friday. And over to this side of the room, Robin Hood Galloway, who came all the way from Wheeling, right? Next, Rosalie Seehee Galloway. And next, in from Arizona, Tony Ann Noggles Goebel. TA, wonderful to have you here. We have an empty chair out there. We were hoping to see Art Granda was our next person, but he's not here. And so I guess the next person is?
Daniel Leo Haller. One of the hardest working members of the class of 61 for this university, Daniel Haller. Richard Hanlon, I know, is hiding back there still, aisle 2. Richard.
And Dick is another hard worker. He put a lot of time in on this reunion. Calling again and calling again, right, Dick?
Go ahead.
All right. Next, Michael Lynn Schlaughter Headley. Michael Lynn. You've won a few teachers' awards, too, for excellence in teaching. Next, Roy Heisel. Roy, wonderful. And how about next? Betty Barnes Kinsler. Betty Jo. Hi.
Betty Jo.
And one of our musically gifted grads, Frank Matea. Next, Pat Chipoletti May. And next, Pete May. Peter, welcome. From Minnesota, right? And next, John Egan McAteer, who, thank heavens, is not on overseas assignment again. And the other half of a dynamic duo, Mike Moore. Mike, we're sorry that Bo Callagher wasn't here as well, so that the two of you could do that honking routine of yours. Next, Sheila Gallagher Moser. Next, Liz Tufel Narrett. Hi, Liz. And next, Mary Skews Patterson. Is Mary here? Or there she is. Not still typing Leo Flanagan's last term paper.
Belatedly for Paul Orr.
I'll be biking up in your area, Mary, up in Ithaca soon. Wayne Pacine next, another one of our musicians. Next is Mike Santer, Dr. Mike Santer, who, if you'll remember, was one of our Rhodes finalists. And next, Colleen Ryan Solario. And Sam Solaria, who's infamous for sending me at least 4 or 5 emails a day, berating me about my own political philosophy, which is actually neutral. But have you ever known Sam to be neutral about anything? And by the way, never mention global warming in his presence. Next, Jack Spittle. Jack and Carol are up from Florida. And next, Betty Ann Venzel Stewart. Betty is another one of our reunion organizers. Thanks, Betty Ann, for all the work you did. And Joe Urbanski. Joe, wonderful. Welcome. And Lloyd, the great basketball coach, Wolf. Do you get what? I don't know whether you got a diploma in '61, but somehow we included you.
Several of the faculty tried to stop that.
With good reason, too. And last but not least, John Yasinski. And for those of you who weren't aware of it,
excuse me, we have one addition you weren't expecting. Paul Diss has arrived, and I would like to. We don't have a diploma for him yet, but I would ask if Kathy would just hand him a folder and he can pose for a photo with the president. And we will get him a diploma.
Yeah. Yay. I wanted to mention while John Yasinski was up before us, John put in many, many years on the board at the Wheeling Jesuit. As I mentioned, he was one of the key people on the Presidential Search Committee. And I don't know how many of you know this, John was a White House fellow during the Nixon, and I guess Ford administration too, John, and a friend of Colin Powell's. John's had quite a career, as have many of us. So, we had quite a class. I think you all agree. And this guy here was a Woodrow Wilson. So we had the Woodrow Wilson with Leo. We had Mike Santer as a Rhodes runner-up. Yaz as the White House fellow. And, of course, Jane was our top student in our class. She got the best prize with Jim.
If we may interject, Father would just like to explain this little gift bag before we close.
You will understand. I'm not asking you to open them. I'm going to tell you what's in them, and you can have your own. You will understand, I'm sure, there's a bookmark there and a paperweight. What is different that I wanted to explain to you, you heard earlier that the president. You heard earlier when the president said that his wife has taken an active role in our work here at the university. Not only is the campus more beautiful, there's less gum stuck to the ground, fewer cigarette butts, more flowers. She's also a professional designer, and she's been helping us with the interior design of some of the offices that we have to reconstruct for the growth of the university. She's been absolutely irreplaceable in the current process to have a master plan that is a physical master plan of the institution to match our strategic plan. So from one end of the campus to the other, Cindy Byer really has had an impact on this place. You're going to get to take a little bit of a piece of her artistic talent home with you, because she has an amazing eye for art. And when she heard we were having this event and that you were the 50-year class, what she did is she went up to Ogilvy and she commissioned from a glassblower there a Christmas ornament, which you all have in your bag there, with the seal of the university on it. And we cannot thank her enough for her ingenuity and her creativity and her thoughtfulness. And I want you to know that you are the first to receive these. No one else in the world has these. So thank you for your patience, and thanks, Cindy, for all your work.
Thank you, Father, very much for letting us know. Before we do close, and we are about to close in a paragraph or two, in case you're wondering, we want to thank two outstanding ladies in our alumni office who work behind the scenes, work year-round, work day and night on our alumni events, move chairs, tables, do posters, send emails, whatever is necessary to make our events such as this as enjoyable as possible. Please give a big, big hand to our Coordinator of Alumni Services, Janet Nolan, and our Director of Alumni Services, Kelly Klubert. A really big hand, please. And they now have a very capable assistant, a member of our Office of Advancement, who assists them with many of the 50-year projects, Kelly Kubankanik. And I did learn to pronounce that. Shelley, please stand. Big round of applause for Shelley.
There she is, back there. All right, well, don't forget to come back here after dinner to see the Class of 61's presentation, Classroom Skits. That's what this is all about up here. And during this program, Dr. Paul Orr promises to explain how he came about this C++, minus, plus grading system of his. So, and finally, let's give President and Ms. Beyer a big hand for being here and our hosts this evening. Thank you very, very much, President Beyer. All right, folks, that's it. Tables are ready in the back of the room. Let's move out and enjoy ourselves.
Okay, you made it.